Let me tell you something a lot of people only figure out after they've already spent too much money on a new TV. A lot of people walk into a store, see the words OLED TV, and immediately assume that any model with that technology is automatically the best choice. But that's not really how it works. Yes, OLED is one of the best display technologies out there right now because it gives you perfect blacks, infinite contrast, richer colors, and a much more immersive picture than conventional TVs. That happens because on an OLED TV, each pixel lights up independently. So when a scene needs to go dark, that pixel actually turns completely off. And that's exactly what gives movies, shows, sports, and games a whole different level of picture quality. But here's the most important point. Not every old TV is worth what it costs. Some are absolutely worth every penny. Others are overpriced for what they give you. And some might be the best value on the market for people who want to bring home an OLED TV without spending more than they need to. So in this video, I'm going to show you the 7 best OLED TVs, which ones are actually worth buying, who each one is for, and which old TV to buy based on your budget, your use case, and your room. If you want to find out which is the best old TV, stay until the end, because this list could save you a lot of money and still leave you with a much better TV. Number 7. LG B5 OLED, Best OLED TV Cheap. Let's start with the TV that exists to prove one very simple thing. OLED does not have to be out of reach. For a long time, a lot of people looked at OLED as that amazing technology you see in reviews, admire, think looks incredible, and then immediately close the tab when you see the price. It was always the same story. People wanted the perfect blacks, the insane contrast, that picture that seems to leap off the screen, but they didn't want to get into the price range where a TV starts costing as much as a vacation. And that is exactly where the LG B5 OLED comes in. The B5 is the kind of TV that makes sense for someone who finally wants to move on from a regular LED TV and step into the OLED world the right way, without paying for the top of the line. And that matters more than it sounds like it does, because when someone buys their first OLED, what they want is not necessarily the brightest TV, or the most sophisticated one, or the most premium one in the category. What they want is to feel the difference. They want to press play on a dark movie and see real black. They want to watch a series and notice depth in the image. They want to turn on a game and think, wait, so this is what I've been missing this whole time? The LG B5 delivers exactly that experience. It doesn't try to be the flashiest OLED on this list. It doesn't try to impress you with excess. What it does is deliver the core OLED experience in a more affordable package. And honestly, for a lot of people, that is already enough. If you watch a lot of movies, streaming, shows at night, or content in a controlled room or a room with moderate light, it's going to feel like a huge upgrade compared to just about any mid-range LED TV. Now, there is one important detail, and that detail is exactly why it sits at number 7. The B5 is an entry-level TV in the OLED world. So yes, it makes compromises. It does not have the same level of brightness as the models above it. In a very bright room with lots of windows and reflections pouring in all day, it's not going to have the same impact as more expensive models. And that's exactly the kind of thing people sometimes only realize after the TV is already set up at home. In the store, they all look amazing. In real life, your room lighting decides a lot. But if you told me, I want the best cheap OLED TV, I want to get into OLED for less money, and I still want something that feels premium when I sit down on the couch, this is the TV I would look at first. Who is it really for? It's the TV for someone buying their first OLED, for someone moving on from an older TV and wanting to feel a real jump in picture quality, for someone who wants to spend less without ending up with a mediocre purchase. Who might want to skip it? Anyone with a very bright room all day long? Anyone who wants the absolute maximum brightness possible? Or anyone who already knows they're going to obsessively compare its picture to premium models? Number 6. Panasonic Z95B OLED, Best OLED TV for streaming. Some TVs you buy for gaming, some TVs you buy for home theater, and then there are TVs that feel like they were made for the person who lives jumping from app to app, from movie to movie, from series to series, and wants everything to feel easy, beautiful, and premium. That is the Panasonic Z95B OLED. And I think the big reason this TV works so well is that it doesn't rely on one single trick to be good. It works because everything about it seems to point in the same direction, streaming with a premium feel. Think about the kind of person who opens Netflix, then Prime Video, then Disney Plus, then goes back to YouTube, then puts on a movie at the end of the night and wants to feel like they're getting the most out of every platform. That user doesn't just want a good screen. They want refined picture quality, good processing, smooth app navigation, convincing audio, and above all, a TV that feels built for real-world use, not just for looking impressive in a review. The Z95B has a lot of that feeling. It's one of those TVs that immediately gives off an impression of refinement. The panel is excellent, the contrast is everything you expect from a high-end OLED, and the way it handles streaming content is where it really builds its identity. Some TVs look beautiful with perfect content. But real life is not like that. In real life, you're going to watch compressed streams, series with questionable lighting, old movies remastered unevenly, reality shows, sports, documentaries, all mixed together. And that's where Panasonic usually stands out. It handles image quality with a very steady hand without looking like it's trying too hard. And the sound helps a lot in that equation. Some TVs come with built-in audio just to check a box. The Z95B doesn't feel like that. It tries to give you a more complete experience right out of the box. And that matters for someone who uses the TV as the center of the home entertainment setup and doesn't want to rush out and buy a soundbar on the same day. Now, the point here is simple. This is not the entry-level rational buy. That's not what it's trying to be. It's here because if the search is for the best OLED TV for streaming, it has a combination that is very hard to ignore. It turns opening an app and pressing play into something more immersive, more cinematic, and smoother. Who is it really for? It's the TV for someone who lives on streaming, for someone who wants refined image quality and a more complete experience without depending as much on extra gear. Who might want to skip it? Anyone looking at price before anything else? Or anyone who wants a TV aimed more at competitive gaming than general entertainment content. Number 5. LG C5 OLED, Best OLED TV for Gaming. Now we get into the category that usually creates more debate than it should. What is the best OLED TV for gaming? Because a lot of people get lost looking only at marketing. They see an expensive TV, they see gaming mode, they see a high refresh rate, and that's it. They assume that must be the one. But the truth is, when you actually game a lot, especially if you switch between console and PC, you start noticing very quickly which TVs were actually built for this and which ones just want to look like they were. The LG C5 OLED is one of the ones that actually was. And the reason it continues to be so strong for gaming is that it gets the important things exactly right. It's not just because the picture is beautiful, every good OLED does that. It's because it combines excellent image quality with a gaming experience that feels clean, fast, responsive, and uncomplicated. Think about someone who plays story-driven games at night, but also jumps into competitive multiplayer. One minute they're in a cinematic game full of darkness, contrast, texture, and shadow detail. The next minute, they're in a multiplayer match where response time really matters. The C5 moves between those two worlds with impressive ease. This is the kind of TV that makes the user forget they're gaming on a television and not on a premium gaming monitor. The smoothness is excellent, the input lag is extremely low, the gaming features are all there, and the OLED panel does the rest. Dark environments look incredible, the HUD stands out more clearly, HDR explosions have real impact, and beautiful games turn into a full-on tech showcase. But what makes the C5 special is not just raw performance, it's that it doesn't force you to sacrifice in other areas. A lot of gaming TVs feel like very technical choices, almost soulless. The C5 doesn't. It's also great for movies, great for shows, great for everyday use. That's why it turns into one of those dangerously easy recommendations, the kind of model you suggest and then the person comes back later saying, "Yeah, you were right." Now, there is one thing to keep in mind. If your room is extremely bright, full of reflections, and you want the absolute maximum brightness possible, there are models above it that will give you more visual punch. But for most people who want the best OLED TV for gaming, the C5 hits the exact sweet spot between performance, versatility, and enjoyment. Who is it really for? It's the TV for real gamers. For people who play on console, play on PC, play everything, and still don't want to give up top-tier image quality for movies and shows. Who might want to skip it? Anyone who wants an ultra-premium OLED just for the pleasure of owning the top of the line. Or anyone building a setup in such a bright room that extreme brightness becomes priority number 1. Number 4. Samsung S90F OLED, Best OLED TV under $2,000. There's a very specific moment in every TV search when a person starts to realize something. After a certain point, the price goes up faster than the actual difference in experience. And the Samsung S90F OLED is one of those TVs that lives exactly in the zone where that becomes very obvious. because it's the kind of model that makes you look at the market and think, wait, so I can get to this level of picture quality without stepping into the territory of the most expensive TVs in the category? That's exactly why it makes so much sense as the best OLED TV under $2,000. The S90F is a TV that gives you a lot of what makes OLED special, but in a package that feels more aggressive on value. And that matters a lot, because some people don't want the most luxurious TV in the catalog. They want the TV that feels premium in real use, impresses in everyday watching, and still leaves them with the feeling that their money was well spent. This Samsung has exactly that personality. Its picture has that immediate appeal that grabs attention without needing technical explanation. Strong color, very good brightness, excellent contrast, a clean and impactful look. It's the kind of TV you put in a living room, start HDR content on, and the reaction from whoever's next to you is almost instant. It's not one of those timid pictures you have to justify. It sells itself. And for gamers, it's also very tempting, because it doesn't come across as a cheap TV with visible compromises. It comes across like a serious product. Strong performance, good smoothness, and a modern enough package to satisfy even people who pay attention to those details. Now, of course, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And this is where the point that always follows Samsung OLED comes in. If you're the kind of user who absolutely insists on Dolby Vision, this will not be the ideal choice for you. And if you compare it to even more expensive and refined models, you'll see where the extra money goes. But that isn't really its job. The job of the S90F is something else. It's to be the TV that enters the conversation when someone says, I want something genuinely good, but I'm not crossing that psychological price line. And for that, it works very well. Who is it really for? It's the TV for someone who wants a strong, modern OLED that feels premium in real use, but with a more controlled budget ceiling. Who might want to skip it? Anyone who insists on Dolby Vision. Or anyone who has already decided they want the absolute top and doesn't really care about value. Number 3. Sony Bravia 8.2 OLED. Best OLED TV with integrated sound system. Now we get into a category a lot of people underestimate until they actually hear the difference in real life. A TV with genuinely good built-in sound, because almost everyone has gotten used to the same formula. Thin screen, beautiful picture, audio that's just okay. We've been trained to accept that. So when a TV comes along trying to make the sound come from the screen itself, with more presence, more direction, and more body, the first reaction is usually surprise. The Sony Bravia 8.2 is exactly that kind of surprise. And the idea here is not just that it has audio that is a little better than average. No. What makes this TV special is that it gives you that rare feeling that image and sound are actually working together, not separately out of obligation. You watch dialogue and it feels like it's coming from the center of the scene. You see a more intense action sequence and feel more connection between what you're seeing and what you're hearing. It doesn't feel like sound coming from under the TV trying to keep up with the content. It feels more integrated. That's why, for the keyword Best OLED TV with integrated sound system, it makes so much sense. And what's even more interesting is that it doesn't rely on audio alone to justify the purchase. The picture quality is also at a very high level. This is a Sony in the most Sony sense possible. Refined, cinematic, extremely strong in processing, very good with texture, depth, naturalism, and scene control. It's not a TV that tries to dazzle you through exaggeration. It tries to win you over through perceived quality. And it does. Think about the kind of person who watches a lot of movies and series, values a more natural picture, and wants a TV that already delivers a fuller experience without turning the purchase into an endless shopping list of extra equipment. That person is going to look at the Bravia 8.2 and understand its value very quickly. Now, there is a catch. And it's an important one. If you're a more hardcore gamer, the kind of person who looks at the number of HDMI 2.1 ports, maximum refresh rates, flexibility with multiple devices, and everything else, other TVs on this list are going to be more aggressive in that area. Sony is playing a different game here. It wants to win you over on the complete experience, not on sheer numbers. And honestly, for the right audience, it wins. Who is it really for? It's the TV for someone who wants a highly cinematic picture and built-in audio that genuinely makes a difference. Who might want to skip it? Anyone who games competitively and wants the most aggressive gaming package possible, or anyone who already knows they're buying a top-tier soundbar no matter what. Number 2. LG G5 OLED. Best OLED TV with Dolby Vision. There's a difference between an excellent TV and a TV that was clearly built for enthusiasts. The LG G5 OLED belongs in that second category. This is the TV that enters the conversation when someone already knows what they're looking for. They're not trying to figure out whether OLED is worth it anymore. They're not comparing everything to everything. They're past that stage. They want a high-end TV, they want very strong brightness, they want premium design, they want absurd performance, and they want all of that without giving up Dolby Vision. The G5 delivers exactly that. And I think the most impressive thing about it is how clearly it feels like a deliberate evolution of what LG already did well. It's not just a beautiful TV with a flagship name. It's a TV that wants to justify at all times the fact that it sits above the brand's main line. It's more impactful, more luminous, more visually sophisticated, more wow when you feed it great content. This is the kind of screen that makes HDR feel even more grand. Those scenes where light and shadow live together in the same frame look especially impressive, and because it keeps Dolby Vision, it lands in that category of TVs that gives a lot of people more confidence in their purchase, because for a certain part of the premium audience, Dolby Vision is not a detail, it's a requirement. And that is its biggest strength under the keyword Best OLED TV with Dolby Vision. The G5 also has that presence of a TV designed to be displayed. The design is premium, the finish is refined, the whole product feels top of the line. It looks beautiful when it's off and even better when it's on. And yes, that matters, especially when the TV becomes the centerpiece of the room. But here's the real question, is it worth what it costs? For the average buyer, maybe not. And it's okay to say that, because the G5 is not the universal rational buy. It is the right buy for the person who wants to step up into a higher level of experience and knows exactly why they're paying more. If you are that kind of user, it makes a lot of sense. If you simply want an excellent OLED and nothing beyond that, the line below it may already solve your problem. Who is it really for? It's the TV for enthusiasts. For people who want a premium OLED, strong brightness, flagship design, and absolutely insist on Dolby Vision. Who might want to skip it? Anyone who values bang for the buck above everything else. Or anyone who is going to use the TV more casually and probably won't fully take advantage of what makes it special. Number 1. Samsung S95F QD-OLED. Best OLED TV to buy, overall. Now for number 1. And I'm going to be very direct here. The Samsung S95F is the kind of TV that makes the rest of the market feel like it's debating details while this thing solves the whole picture. Because one thing is a TV being great in one category. Another is a TV being excellent in several categories at the same time, and that is what puts the S95F at the top as the best OLED TV to buy overall. It has the kind of image quality that, to the average person, almost looks absurd. A lot of brightness, a lot of color, a lot of contrast, a lot of visual impact. But what really makes the difference is not just that first impression, it's the consistency. It's the fact that it keeps impressing you when you change the type of content, change the room lighting, change the use case, go from movies to games, go from streaming to sports. It keeps working. That's the point. Some TVs are amazing at night. Some TVs look beautiful in demos. Some TVs impress in one specific scene. The S95F gives you the feeling that it's brilliant all the time. And that matters a lot, especially if your room is not a controlled YouTube review environment, but a real living room with windows, daylight, reflections, routine, people walking around, mixed usage. It has that brightness and that image treatment that makes OLED feel less delicate in a bright room. It manages to keep punch, presence, and impact where a lot of TVs start losing some of their magic. At the same time, it still gives you everything you expect from a premium OLED. Perfect black, impeccable contrast, depth, strong HDR, rich colors, and an overall sense of a screen that feels alive. And for gaming, it also plays at a flagship level. So you don't have to choose between TV for movies and TV for gaming. It does both. And it does both very well. Now, there is one point that has to be said because it always comes up when talking about Samsung. If you are the kind of user who absolutely insists on Dolby Vision, that will count against it. And that's fair. That's a legitimate criterion. But aside from that specific debate, when you look at the whole package, image quality, brightness, versatility, visual presence, overall performance, the S95F is very hard to beat. That's why it takes first place. Because at the end of the day, when someone asks, which OLED should I buy if I want the best overall choice? What they're really asking is this: show me the TV that is least likely to disappoint me. And today, that answer is the S95F. Who is it really for? It's the TV for someone who wants to buy a high-end OLED and feel like they walked away with one of the best possible choices on the market, period. Who might want to skip it? Anyone who absolutely insists on Dolby Vision, or anyone who wants to spend less and would already be perfectly happy in a lower category. Now, let me make this as simple as possible. If you want to get into OLED while spending less and still feel that real jump in picture quality, go with the LG B5. That's the entry point. The TV that proves OLED does not have to cost a fortune to be worth it. If your focus is streaming, if your routine is Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, YouTube, movie after movie, series after series, and you want a more refined experience right out of the box, the Panasonic Z95B is the right choice. If what matters most to you is gaming, and you want a TV that delivers a ridiculous picture without giving up smoothness, responsiveness, and the features that actually matter in games, the answer is still the LG C5. If you've set a ceiling on your budget and you want the best OLED under $2,000, the Samsung S90F makes a lot of sense. It's the kind of TV that delivers more than its price makes it seem like it should. If you want a more complete experience without depending so much on a soundbar, if you care about a TV that also impresses with audio, not just picture, the Sony Bravia 8 II stands out the most here. If you're the kind of person who insists on Dolby Vision and wants to step up to a truly premium OLED, the kind that feels built to impress every single time you press play on a great movie, then the LG G5 is your TV. And if you want me to summarize everything in one sentence, if you want the best old TV to buy overall, the most complete one, the most versatile one, the one most likely to make you feel like you nailed the purchase, that TV is the Samsung S95F. And I think that is the most important point in this entire video. The mistake a lot of people make is stopping at the word OLED and going no further. And that's exactly how someone ends up paying more for a TV that, in real life, wasn't actually the best choice for their home, the kind of content they watch, or the amount of money they wanted to spend.